Hi, my name is Carolina. I'm Brazilian, and this is a video for my post-graduation in English teaching and learning. And this is about late modern English, right? Okay, so modern English has been divided into early and late because, um, well, because of some things that happened, right? And the late modern English has much more vocabulary, right? Because of the Industrial Revolution and the things that have been brought because of this, and because of the British Empire, which covered like, I don't know, three-quarters of the globe. So people started speaking more English, but as well as we started spreading English, people started spreading the language. The other languages gave the English people some new vocabulary. For example, Bengal from Indian Indian language, and the Industrial Revolution, which brought many things, like we didn't have a typewriter or motor car, television, podcast, broadcast. Then we started building computers, and then we had the Second World War, and which we took the word from the Japanese, kamikaze, or kamikaze, and bliss from German. Well, we had many things. But besides the fact that we had the Industrial Revolution and the British Empire, there was also the need to prescribe language. In other words, people needed to create rules saying how do you say things, how do you use that verb, how do you construct a sentence, how do you construct a question, right? And so, well, the first grammar was created in the 16th century, but the grammars only became popular 2 centuries later, right? So, in this grammar, people started learning the differences of who and whom. What was the difference between this word? And this grammar, these grammars of the 18th century, they told us how not to use, how we shouldn't use language. For example, sentences shouldn't end with a preposition. Where do you come from? From is a preposition. We put from in front of the sentence, saying, from where do you come? It sounds Yoda to me. And the guy who created all this was Robert Lowe. He was a grammarian and he invented the rule. And people started noticing that Latin and Greek were seen as languages with more prestige. The ones who spoke English were that people, that people, they speak English, because English was not spread, and it only became very important with science, because it became the language of science, so it was the first step to becoming global. So the researchers had to publish everything in English, and people had to start reading English, which was really nice, right? Okay, there is another thing. In 1755, Samuel Johnson's Dictionary of the English Language contained about 40,000 words. And, well, now today I have no idea how many, but it's a lot. Okay, and in this dictionary, including these new entries of science and war and new countries and expansion, and this mobility of language to come back and forth. Uh, in this rule of spelling and meaning, it helped to create a standard. So this dictionary was used as a standard reference, right? Okay, continuing in grammar, there was a little bit of change because instead of you, we had a vowel, right? And a vowel was used for people of lower rank, of lower social rank, and you was used for higher social rank. Okay, and today we have the U only letter. And before we had what know you, which became what do you know. So we had the creation of the auxiliary verbs, and we also had the creation of the ing form. Okay, but on the other hand, syntax has been made much less complex. So the writers wouldn't write huge sentences with multiple subordinate clauses. So the sentences became shorter and more accurate. Okay, here are some examples of vocabulary. So the extension of British Empire brought some words from countries under the British rule. Like I told you, in India it was the word Bengal in 1787, dinghy in 1810, and thug in 1810 as well. You know thug, I always think of that song, thug, love, blah, blah, blah. This thug guy, I don't remember his last name, he was a killer, he was a murderer, and he was very, very terrible and disgusting. He killed, he strangled, and he also watched people killing each other. So this word thug has never been a good word to me. With the advances in science and medicine came words like centigrade in 1812, biology in 1819, laryngitis in 1822, and antibiotic in 1894. You see, so we had laryngitis like in the 1820s and antibiotic only in the 1890s. So people got laryngitis without cure for like 70 years. So the new inventions with the Industrial Revolution and what came forth, like typewriter in 1868, motor car 1895, radio in 1907, video games in 1973, and podcasting. Well, podcasting is only 4 years old. It was created in 2008. Well, but not only in science and in medicine or in the engineering things were created. We also have social and cultural and political development, and we have people of different groups being self-proclaiming themselves as something or being labeled by others. So we have the words hippie in 65, airhead in 72, grunge in the 80s, and credit crunch in the 2000s. And as I told you before, the word kamikaze in 45, this one I'm sure you know, blitz from German in 39, and blighty in the First World War. So we had many words from that. And there comes another thing. As people started moving and going from Britain to other countries in Europe and going to America, and the Americans went to other countries as well, and everybody started traveling, this mobility became easier, or made much easier for people to listen to other accents and dialects, and as well as telephone that Mr. Graham Bell invented became very popular, and so people started listening to each other, right? So with these accents, even in TV broadcasting, like international soap operas and the news, made possible for people to acquire or, well, at least find themselves attracted by different accents and new words that came across them. And, well, but with that, people tended to, it was kind of difficult to have this communication. You see, when you travel to another country and say I'm American and I want to talk to a Scotsman, it's hard nowadays. It would be much harder by then. So people started to soften the accent, so people could understand each other better. And this is kind of beautiful, because this shows the concern of people with each other, to this concern of making easier for the other to understand you. And this is very nice. This is very beautiful, right? And well, we're always improving our communication and creating new spaces, and we have radio and films and TV that affect us, that we learn new words, we learn new structures, we learn new accents. It's really nice. And with computers and internet, everything became much crazier, I can say, but it made us able to search, to look for new things. And so we came with the internet language and the hacker language, and international English, and Brazilian English, Indian English, Singaporean English, and everything. But this is not late modern English. This is contemporary or present day English. And I don't have to tell anything about that too, because I believe you know by exposure, right? Okay, so that was it. Remember that late modern English is related to the Industrial Revolution and everything that it was, and also with the British Empire. But you have to think about all the wars, the First World War, the Second World War, the wars that we're having now. These are always situations which have to be taken into account into language, because if we change ourselves like this, we are probably going to change language, right? Okay, bye.